Time to round up a big topic from the week. Houston fast food workers are joining others around the country demanding a $15 minimum wage. This week, workers from 300 U.S. cities and around the world in 40 countries participated in the largest day ever of strikes and protests. This is in Southwest Houston. The minimum wage in Texas is currently $7.25 an hour. Some workers say that's not enough to survive on.
Now my last check was $0, thanks after child support and rent and everything. So it's really hard to make it when you only make a minimum wage or barely above it. So it'll impact me a lot. It'll have my life a better quality of living, at least maybe so I can go to school or stuff like that.
These people here want $15 an hour, and I mean, when I was growing up, my parents always told me, you want to make money, you got to go to school. So giving $15 an hour to these people is leading our generation that, hey, just go work at fast food. You don't have to go to school to.
The fight for 15 comes as California and New York both signed bills to increase their state's minimum wage to $15 an hour. Critics say the increase would be a job killer and cause prices to go up. So the fight for 15 is our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page and on Twitter. Use the hashtag Fox26for Life. Joining us live in the newsroom is our panel led by our senior legal analyst Chris Tritico, Democratic media consultant Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst Jackie Bally. What do you guys think about this?
Well, this has been a battle that's been going on for a very long time. I think we were talking about it since 2009 was the last time the minimum wage was raised. Been talking about it for a very long time. We'll see what happens in California and New York as they roll in a $15 an hour minimum wage. Walmart and I believe another major employer raised their own minimum wage to $9 an hour over the last 18 months, as I recall. I haven't seen the results of that on their bottom line. I don't know, Mustafa Tamiz, where this is going to go, but with the Republicans in control of the House and the Senate, there is no question that there will not be a $15 minimum wage raise in the United States in 2016.
Well, we started the minimum wage in the late 1930s, and since then we've raised minimum wage 22 times by 12 different presidents. So if we hadn't raised the minimum wage, it will still be 25 cents when it started out rather than $7.25. And a lot of economists will tell you the reason why we're stuck in not growing the GDP is because 70% of our GDP is consumer spending. So when consumers have less and less money, and that's where we've seen the income divide, that we're not likely to go back to 3–4% growth. So raising the minimum wage is not just for those workers, but it's to make our economy better for all of us.
Now, the minimum wage was started when it was started at 25 cents to force employers to pay people something for the work that they were doing, and really to keep us from abusing workers. Is there a level where we say the amount of money we're paying you is abusive?
Well, yes, there is. But the amount that people are proposing now could more than double in some instances, and that's really what the problem is. I mean, the economics is not going to work for a lot of business owners. Even Hillary Clinton, on her website for months, she put $12, and Bernie Sanders chastised her because of course Bernie wants it at $15. But the economics is not going to work if you put $15 as a minimum wage. Remember, these are supposed to be, in a lot of these positions, fast food positions, it's supposed to be starter positions, usually teens. I commend one of the gentlemen we saw in the clip. He said he pays child support. Good for him. But a lot of the people that are in these positions, it was supposed to be a starter job for most.
Well, look, median age in fast food workers is 28 years old, so they're no longer teenagers. That's just a fact, and we have to start looking at reality as we start making public policy.
All right, let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Yeah, this got a big reaction on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Olivia says, I'm all for a wage increase, but not to $15 an hour. 99.9% of the time when I go to fast food places, my order is wrong, so that kind of kills it for me. Sandra says, I hope they do get it. The cost of living here in Houston is at a high. Glenn says, bring on the burger kiosk. And Patrick says, yes, a lot of these people are going to eventually probably be replaced with a machine. Anthony says, I want everyone to make more money. This in turn would help me make more money. He says more money would allow folks to get a higher education and get off government services. businesses. And then finally, Ellen says, let's start by paying our military $15 an hour.
Well, that's about as diverse a group of trees.
We got them all in there, right? Every single opinion.
And for that first one, maybe if we paid them more money, Jackie, you wouldn't have your orders messed up all the time. And if you weren't going to fast food, you wouldn't have type 2 diabetes.
Well, the reason why I bring up Hillary Clinton and her $12 position versus her $15 is because that's the real issue. How much do we pay these people? $15 is definitely too much. The math does not work. The finances behind it do not work. Only the McDonald's and the Burger Kings of the world will actually survive at that rate. But we have to look at what is a palatable rate for smaller businesses. That's really the issue.
As I recall, I don't know if it was Bill Clinton or George Bush wanted to roll it up to 15. That was a proposal, and it failed, but there was a period of over 10 or 15 years to roll it up to that, and it didn't pass. Yeah.
Well, look, I agree with that, and you know, I'm a big supporter of fast food workers. I think that if you raise the floor for people, it helps all of us, and it's going to help our economy in a significant way. But in places like California and actually especially Washington State, they're being phased in. That it's not an overnight switch. That it happens over several years. And the reason for going to 15 is that it's to create a living wage. The sentiment is that if you have people that are working full time and still at poverty, that they have to apply for government assistance, then it makes no sense. We are subsidizing the profits of many corporations by not raising the minimum wage.
And what about that? You've got people that are working at these places. They're working a full-time job, but they still have to have government assistance because they can't earn enough money.
Or they can probably work their way up to go to school and get an education. That's a novel idea, and try to get a better job. That's really what the purpose of a lot of these jobs was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an entry level. It was supposed to help you. It was supposed to help you get your finances together, not have the government pay for you, not by saying you're going to stay as an employee of Burger King or McDonald's for 20 years.
But McDonald's never started their corporation in the idea that children were going to get a job and go to college.
No. Look, the purpose of the jobs is because the job needs to be filled.
Right, we got to go.
But we need to raise minimum.
All right, we ran out of time right when we got heated. That's the way it works all the time.
I know.